This week on the Swearwolves, David and I discuss a little-known Japanese flick from 1995 called Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, also known as the Japanese Evil Dead.
We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there.
Welcome back to the Swearwolves. I'm Bret.
I'm David.
David.
Yes, Bret.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Yeah, you too.
It is 2023. It's the start. This is the year of the Swearwolf, I believe, is what if my
You think so?
calendar.
We're gonna hit the big time?
Well, I don't know about that. It's just the year of the Swearwolf. Like,
you
know, according to like different tarot readings and shit like that. Big time, schmig time. Who needs to big time when you got just the small time that we are?
That's right.
You know, I never understood that. You know, why go big time when you can just stay
You can
small
go
time?
small time. Why go somewhere when you could go nowhere?
You know, when you're small time, there's no way to go but up. When you're big time, there's nowhere to go but down.
That's true.
Let's stay small time so
Heavy
we can.
is the head that wears the crown, as they say.
Exactly. Also, it's a new year. I don't know. I didn't mention this last episode. Our last episode was long enough. I didn't need to mention it. But I am in a new venue. I have moved.
Yeah.
I've moved once again. I no longer live in Pennsylvania. No, I still live in the same house. However, my daughter had the attic room. Our attic is fixed up, and she was up here. She no longer wanted that. And so her and I swapped. So I am up in the attic by myself. I actually kind of like this. It's quieter.
Dude, I think you got the better end of the deal. I remember when you were showing me the house, I was like, if I were one of your kids, that's the room I would want. It's all the way at the top.
It is.
You can literally look down on everyone.
You can. Plus, we're on a
It's
little
spacious.
hill.
You have your own bathroom?
I do. You can see it right there, David. But anyway, yes, except for the fact that my son is 6'3", 6'4", and the ceilings are relatively short.
When he comes in, he's got to hunch over.
Dad. Well, not in the main part, but in the bathroom, he would hit his head if he was taking a leak. So it'd be piss everywhere. Anyway, I'm in a new venue. It's a new year. It's a new me. I got new glasses too. I don't know if you've noticed those.
I did notice. Those look very nice.
So it's just it's new all over. What about you? What's new? Did you have any New Year's resolutions? Do you do New Year's resolutions?
Not really. I don't know. I just try to think if I want to do something, I just do it.
Can I tell you something about my New Year's resolution? It's something I've been trying to work at actually for a while now. It's not even just in the new year, but I'm trying to be more positive. And not just in like, oh, things are gonna be great. It's glass half full. Fuck all that shit. I won't be positive as far as that stuff goes. I'm trying to be more positive when it comes to like just my regular demeanor, like when I'm out and about. Like there'll be a lot of times where I'll see people and I'll be like, fuck that person, just for no reason, and I'll be like, I hate that.
Like internally, you don't say it to them, right?
I say it to my wife.
Hey,
yeah, no, I don't say.
Fuck you.
Yes, no, I don't say it to them. I say it to my wife, or when I'm driving, like I get.
Oh yeah, and you get mad at somebody, like
yeah,
I'll see you in hell.
It doesn't always work because just the other day I was driving and I was behind someone and they were going the speed limit and I was very pissed off at them for going the speed limit.
You just feel like the vein in your forehead start to throb. You're like,
yeah. So that's like
small steps.
Yeah, it's not a New Year's resolution. It's more of just a resolution.
I like it.
In general, just to try to be more positive, be more happy, be more accepting of. I'm very accepting of people and their cultures and beliefs and lifestyles and everything, but I'm not accepting of idiocy. And I need to be more accepting that
this
people
day
are
and
just
age,
idiots.
there's a lot of stupid people. We got to
true.
coexist somehow.
You know what? And I'm one of them. I'm not saying that I'm smarter than anybody. I'm smarter than some, but definitely not as smart as the majority. And part of that is proven by the movie that I picked this week.
I was just about to say that transitions nicely. Give me an example. Apply that.
Well, I had a really good idea, and it wasn't that good of an idea, but I had an idea, and that idea was like, David, we'll have a year in the review of the Swearwolves. And we'll do an award ceremony, and we'll come dressed in ties.
We'll dress all nice and shit.
That was my idea in my head, at least, right? And it was going to be like, oh, welcome to this red carpet event, and we'll have, awards, best actor of the year of the movies that we reviewed, best director and shit. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, we reviewed The Thing.
It's going to win everything.
So it would even win best actress, Adrienne Barbeau.
Yes. Checkmate.
So, and then also I was like, that's a lot of effort to put into something.
Dude, I'll be honest, when you pitched it, like, it sounded fun, but that was the first thing I thought. I was like, that sounds like a lot of work. Like, I'm gonna have to go back and like look at all the movies we watched. I'm gonna have to write a bunch of shit. Like, let's just watch a movie.
You know, I've often thought we have listeners out there, and they've told me this, and not just one, multiple listeners out there who've listened to the Swearwolves episodes multiple times. Like, I'm talking 3-4 times each episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be someone out there who's like, you know what I can do for you guys? I can write up show notes and tell you like what happened and when it happened and what movies you reviewed. I mean, we have a website that has some of that, but we don't have like show notes.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like, when was the first time we did a fart joke? Episode 1. But when was the first time that we started talking like our poop?
Yeah, I think I know the origins of that one.
I know
that was Ghoulies.
That was Ghoulies, but I don't know what episode number that was.
No, but we could find it. It's the one
along those lines. Not that.
I get what you're saying.
So if
we
you
have a
want
listener
to
who just said he's on his 5th listen.
5th time around,
doing the Lord's work. Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. And that's the first person that popped into my head. It's Eric, right?
Yeah.
Well, if anybody, Eric, this includes you, if anybody wants to volunteer to like write up show notes and you got a bunch of extra time, by all means do it and just contact us. We can't pay you, but we'll give you a shout out. We'll give you a free shirt or some shit. I don't know.
Give you some shit.
Yeah, we'll give you a sticker.
Have a shit demon of your very own.
Anyway, after that idea fell to the wayside, I just messaged you and I'm like, you know what? Let's just do a fucking movie. And you're like, okay, which one? And I don't know if it was this one or the other one, but this was one of them. And I was like, how about Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell? And you're like, okay.
I heard the title and I said, sold.
It's on Shudder, by the way, if you want to watch it. If you want to watch it again, David, it's on Shudder. If you, the listening audience, wants to watch it and you have a subscription to Shudder, by all means, look it up. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, a.k.a. the Japanese Evil Dead.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it says on the title, at least. Maybe not the title card for the actual movie, but when they released it to video, which was DVD.
Makes sense. That's how it was marketed.
That's how it was marketed. I like saying Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, though, because that just rolls off the tongue.
It's really hard to say.
It came out in 1995, and it's actually celebrating an anniversary of sorts, so the timing couldn't be more perfect. December 31st, 1995, 28 years ago. New Year's Eve. 27 years ago, excuse me. This movie came out. What was the number one movie in the theaters on December 31st, 1995? I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater.
Oh.
That's a good hint.
It is. All right. I was trying to think like holiday movies that came out probably around that time. I'm going to go with Toy Story.
Toy Story. I did see Toy Story in the theater.
As did I.
But was that 95? That was 90.
Or maybe it was a summer movie. I don't know. I was thinking maybe it was a Thanksgiving, Christmassy time.
I think it was 94.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think it was 94 because I think I was a senior in high school when I saw it.
Okay.
Could have been right
I just thought of another movie that it could be. What year did Jumanji come out?
I don't know. I didn't see that movie in the theater.
But obviously, that's not the right answer either.
No, the correct answer is 12 Monkeys.
Oh, I did not see that in the theater, but I love that movie.
Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis.
That's a good movie.
Other people. Yeah, I haven't seen it since then. I remember liking it, but I haven't seen it since then. I should probably go back and watch it.
It's Terry Gilliam, right?
Terry Gilliam directed it and wrote it. I think wrote it, but it's a weird movie. Terry Gilliam, right? I think I would appreciate it now more than I did back when I was 18.
It's good. Yeah, Brad Pitt's awesome in that movie. He's fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, Brad Pitt has grown on me over the years. I mean, this happened a long time ago where I started liking him. I think it was after Ocean's 11 is when I was like, I'm a Brad Pitt fan now. And it took a while because before I was just like, Brad Pitt. Probably because I was old Brett and I was hating people for no reason. But now that I'm new,
you were
Brett,
jealous.
I was like, fuck Brad Pitt. He can't act. And then he acts well. And I'm like, well, yeah, anybody could do that role. And then he does another role and then another role. Now, he's had a couple of clunkers, right? But haven't we all?
Yeah.
Listen, even the Swearwolves aren't perfect every episode.
No, and this will probably be one of them. I think it's going to be an off day, Brett. That's what I think.
Well, don't Brad Pitt it yet. The number one song.
Oh, wait, what was the number? Oh, okay.
12
What was the number one
Monkeys.
movie? Oh, it's 12 Monkeys. See?
Come on.
I said I'm taking a dive today.
What was the number one song?
I'm going to go Fantasy by Mariah Carey.
Dude, you're very close.
Damn.
You're very close. It's another Mariah Carey song, but this one was with Boys to Men.
Oh, is that One Sweet Day?
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
You know your Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey, that woman can belt a fucking song. I got down a rabbit hole the other day where I was watching music videos, and I started watching I don't know how it was. My wife and I were watching music videos. My wife watches music videos during the day at work. She has a little TV up, and she goes to Vivo, and she watches 80s music videos.
That's fun.
And and somehow, something came up through conversation, and I put on a music video, and I think it was Celine Dion. I think we were debating who was a better singer, Celine Dion or Mariah Carey. And I think I said Mariah Carey. Celine Dion's great, and I know she just came out recently and said she has some kind of weird paralysis.
Oh yeah, get well, Celine. I don't like
Thank
your
you,
music, but
David.
No.
She's a listener. She's a loyal listener. We got listeners in Canada.
We tell her we just say Mariah Carey's a better singer. Somewhere Celine Dion's listening to this, going, "Whoa!" And she takes her Swearwolves hat off, throws it on the ground, takes the stickers off of her notebook. She goes
let me just
Apple Podcasts, gives us a 1-star review.
Let me just say this to Celine, if you are listening. Hopefully you're still listening, okay? You are a phenomenal singer. But Mariah Carey, man, she can hit a note.
Yeah, she
And back in the day, you know what it was? You know what it was that I watched? It was I'll Be There. Her live performance of I'll Be There.
Yeah.
That song.
Give it the goosebumps.
Oh, yeah. She was awesome.
She got that high
She still
note that
is.
she hits too, son. That I ain't gonna do it.
Listen,
but
she's
you know what I'm
still
talking about.
awesome. She's just older now, and her vocal cords have matured a little bit. They're probably tired as fuck from all those years, so she can't
give
hit
it a
those
rest.
notes. But every year around this time, she comes back, like
Yeah,
the
the
ghost
Queen
of
of
Christmas
Christmas.
past. When she sings from about Thanksgiving to Christmas Day. All you hear
That's where
is,
she shines.
Yep,
Yeah, you hear her everywhere.
and that's my wife's favorite Christmas song.
I think it's
That
a lot
one-
of people's favorite Christmas song because it's one of the top selling singles I think ever.
Yeah, that song, and there's a Kelly Clarkson one that's a fun little Christmas ditty that my wife loves. I don't care. I like Christmas music. We're not here to talk about Christmas. We're talking about Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell.
Of course.
This movie was written and directed by the same person, Shinichi Fukazawa, with music by Natzen Act. The movie stars Shinichi Fukazawa. Okay, so you can't find a lot of information on this movie.
No, it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
No, I know. I'd have to write it. After my
And I'm not going to do that.
after the
Show
notes,
notes person. After we do this recap, go toss that up on Wikipedia, would you?
Eric, North Carolina. You got time, right?
Do it.
Shinichi Fukazawa stars as Shinzi. I don't know who any of these people are. I know the main guy's name is Naomo.
I wrote a couple names down. The
Naomo?
girl's name is Mika. And I can't remember the other dude's name.
Oh, Naoto.
Okay.
Naoto is the main...
he's the psychic guy.
No, Naoto is the main guy.
Oh, okay.
I think Shinji. Listen, I don't know who the fuck these people are. The only person that's credited on IMDb, there's 5 actors, and the only one that has a character name is Sunichi Fukazawa, and that is he plays Shinji. Maybe Shinji is the dad.
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Whatever.
There's some other people too. Masaka Kai, Masahiro Kai, Akitama Mai, and Asako Nosaka. Those are all the actors. I'm sure none of them are really actors. They're all like the buddies of this person.
Probably.
The runtime of this movie, 62 minutes. That's another reason why David said yes to the dress.
Yeah, when I looked it up, I was like, sweet, this movie's like an hour long. I'm in.
No budget, no box office. There was probably no budget, and it never got released. In fact,
I guess, does it have like a cult following of sorts, maybe?
I don't have...
Just facts. Just facts. Just facts, man.
I don't have a lot of facts on this movie because there's none. There's no facts. There's like very few. And one of them is, yes, there's a cult following of this movie. And I think that led to the movie being released. I don't know who released it. Like fucking...
What company?
One of these like fucking
one of the lower ones.
Yeah, the ones who are like, oh, we're gonna release this cool cult movie, and then people start becoming a fan of it, and then Shudder's like, we'll put it on our fucking streaming platform because people want to watch this movie because they say it's so good. Listen, okay, spoiler alert, it's not good. It sucks. There's a reason why you've never seen this movie.
I loved this movie.
There's a reason why you've never seen this movie. And the only reason why you did see this movie is if you live in New Jersey and you're like, oh, I watch all this crap. But Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, you watch this movie because it's bullshit. Okay? The only reason why you're watching this movie is so you can make fun of it and because it's trash.
Yeah, because if you want to see a good movie, you just watch the other movie. Like
Evil Dead.
We'll get into it. This movie is this movie is just
it's Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even I was going to say it's a blatant ripoff, but it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's a ripoff. Like, it's very obvious. Like there's even dialogue that's the same.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's a ripoff. It's
so
inspired
I guess maybe more
by,
of an homage.
It's just it's inspired by it is. I mean, in some respects, it's not, right? Because there's no psychic in Evil Dead. But
the main gist of the plot is exactly the same for the most part.
So the first thing, getting into the plot of this movie, the first thing you'll notice is that this movie was filmed with a camcorder. All right. Someone had a high 8 camcorder back in 1994, 1995. It was filmed or released on December 31st. It was probably filmed they got it for Christmas of 1995. They got the camcorder.
Released it like,
I got an idea. So
yeah, because like that first scene, like when it starts, I thought that the way the camera looked was like a gimmick because it was a flashback because it starts in the 70s, and then when it jumped to present day, I was like, oh, it still looks like shit. Awesome.
Was it the 70s or the 60s? Was it 30 years? I think it was 30 years.
It said Tokyo early 70s is what it said.
But then I thought he said at some point 30 years ago. So that math doesn't add up because it was 1995.
But that's what the title card said, but it was also translated, so who knows?
That's true. But it does say 30. It says 30 years at one point because I wrote it down.
Or maybe the present day is set in the future.
It's 12 Monkeys, like...
Yeah. We did it. It was us.
This movie is ahead of its time. All right, some guy and his girlfriend are fighting. And
the girl's jealous.
He's leaving her.
Yeah, and he's going to marry someone apparently. Like,
yeah, he's like, look.
he's moving fast. I'm breaking up with you and I'm also going to marry this other person. And she's like, "Oh, you motherfucker, no you're not."
And she says something to the effect of like, "If I can't have you, no one can." And she whips out this knife. And it is the shiniest, fakest looking knife I've ever seen. It's like wobbly.
Yeah, it's a plastic knife.
It's like chrome
with
plated.
like chrome paint. Yes. Exactly.
She tries to stab him. And I think maybe she does get him, but he grabs the knife away, and then she ends up like falling into it. Right? He doesn't kill her. Like he's not.
He like turns the knife onto her and stabs her, but I don't think he really meant to do it, but he did.
It's like it was like she fell into it or some shit. So what does he do? The only thing you do in that circumstance, gets a shovel and starts digging up the floorboards.
Digging up the floorboards. You got a barrier under here in the house. That won't smell.
That won't smell at all, and you're just going to live there for the next 30 years.
Yeah, with a corpse under my floor.
Flash forward 30 years later, and we get this dude.
Oh, real quick, like while he's burying her, remember she pops up because she's actually like not dead, and then he finishes her off with a shovel.
Yeah, so he does murder her.
Yeah, and then like at one point during their fight, like her necklace came off or something, and he like drops her necklace.
So
down
there's
in there with her.
There's the Evil Dead kind of one of the first links to Evil Dead is like there's this
shitty necklace.
Yeah,
the claw machine necklace.
But all right, so yeah, he does end up killing her, dong, on the head, buries her under the floorboards, and he's gonna get away with it for forever and always. Well, 30 years later, the dude's son, Naoto, he's working out. This dude is
a bodybuilder.
He's the
bloody muscle bodybuilder.
Well, he's just a muscle bodybuilder right now.
That's right. He's
There's
not
no
bloody,
blood.
He's not in hell.
He's not in hell.
And he's never in hell.
He's not really a bodybuilder, is he?
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, this guy's in really good shape, but a bodybuilder? Like, I don't know
He
about
just
that.
likes to work out.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's a gym membership.
I mean,
that's all.
He goes to Planet Fitness 3 times a week, and you know something? He's just got good genetics, I think.
Yeah.
Like, like I have a cousin who he could eat like bullshit all day long.
Just eat whatever he wants.
Yeah, and he's like in really good shape. I don't know about now. He might be a big fat slob now, but I remember when we were kids, like he'd just eat anything, and I'd be like eating a carrot. And
he take off his shirt and he has an 8-pack.
Yeah,
you're like, you son of a bitch.
He was born with muscles. He's like fucking. Remember that little kid, that little fucking Pocket Hercules.
Oh, Pocket Hercules. Yeah.
That was my cousin. I mean, not really, but it could have been. So anyway, muscle bodybuilder. He's like working out. And then the phone starts ringing. This phone rings, no shit, 15 times.
It was half the length of the film. But yeah, I thought somebody was like, answer the fucking phone, dude. Or don't. I don't give a shit.
Well, apparently he doesn't care. He's like in the middle of sets, but he has no voicemail. All right. So maybe that's not a thing. He has no answering machine. And the person on the other end isn't like, hey, they're not answering, so I'm just going to hang up. They're just like, no, I'm just going to keep letting it ring.
I'm very persistent. Maybe he's not home, but like eventually he will get home, and I want him to hear the phone ringing. And he can immediately answer.
Wasn't the rule of thumb back in the day 4 or 5 rings if they don't answer?
4 rings was usually my max. Yeah, like after that, I'm hanging up.
4 rings was my max too, but sometimes maybe it'd go to a 5th one.
If it's real important.
If they don't answer, at that point, they don't want to talk to you if they're home.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, if they don't answer, I'm calling the police. Something terrible has happened.
He answers the phone eventually, right? On the 16th, he goes, I don't answer the phone on anything less than 16 rings. He answers the phone and he's all, yeah, hello. And it's his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, she wants to meet up.
Yeah, she's a reporter now. And she's doing, coincidentally, a report on haunted houses, a story. And she remembered this picture that homeboy had of his dad's house.
Yeah, like a photo that has a ghost in it.
And it gave her the creeps and stuff. And so she's like, can I have that picture? Can I see that picture? I want to study it. By the way, I call bullshit on this. She just wanted that dick. I'll tell you why.
Yeah, she did.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't care if you are like really creeped out by this house and you're doing this story on haunted houses. If it's your ex and you don't want to talk to him, you're just going to go, you know what? There's other fucking haunted houses out there.
I'll find other ghosts. Yeah, exactly.
But if it's your ex and you want that D, you're going to go, hey, I'm going to do a story on haunted houses.
I'm writing an article. Yeah, exactly. He's like, you work at Wendy's.
Yeah. Otherwise, you know what? Find a different haunted house, babe.
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
Yeah. But there's not plenty of this. And he
There's
points to his-
no.
and she's like, I can't see you. I'm on the phone. He's like, well, I'm pointing to
Well,
my
trust
dick.
me. It got bigger since the last time you saw me.
It's really hard right now because I've been working out.
I've been doing cock push-ups. Just one.
They meet up, and he's like, my dad died.
It's like, oh, that sucks.
He left me the house, and she's like, hey, I need to write this report, or this story, not a report. She's not in school. She's like, I'm gonna write a story. Let's go to the house. And he's like, I don't know. I'm really busy.
She wants to see the inside of the house.
It's like I haven't worked since you broke up with me. And she goes, you haven't had a job for a year? Like,
Nope.
you've been broken up for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was funny too.
So he agrees. He's like, yeah, let's go to this house. And she's like, all right, well, I'm bringing along my friend. And he's like, oh, fuck. Cock blocking.
Exactly.
And this friend is a psychic.
And he's kind of an asshole.
He's annoying. He's a cocky motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm a psychic. And he's like, you're an asshole. One thing I noticed, they get to the house. One thing I noticed about this house, it's not like a cabin in the woods like an Evil Dead. It's not even like a farmhouse like in The Conjuring where you got like 10 acres around you and no neighbors. It's like in a suburb.
Yeah. It's a house in a city.
There's some guy like mowing the lawn right next door. He's all, hey, like at any time they could just yell
new
for
neighbors. Yeah. There's none of that.
And he tells the girlfriend and the psychic, he's like, yeah, my dad left me this house. I moved some gym equipment in there. I'm thinking about making it my personal gym.
Yeah, that was weird. He's like, I put all my weights in the basement. She's like, oh, awesome.
Cool.
He's like, have I mentioned lately how huge I am?
All I do is work out since you broke up with me. They get into the house and the psychic, he starts sensing something. And he's like,
senses evil. There's an evil presence in this house.
Also in this house, let's go back to the filmmaking aspect of this. It's like a movie that I made when I was in high school where you only have access to one room. And so they only filmed everything in this one room.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anything that happens in the house is either in this one room or in the basement. It's like, well, what's called the basement. Who knows if it was actually a basement. But anyway, the psychic starts to sense something and he's doing his psychic things and the lights start to flicker. And he looks over at Naoto, who's standing at the mirror, like doing the Fonzie, right? Checking his hair and everything. And he looks over at him and he sees a hand like creepily coming up on this dude's shoulder.
Yeah, because he tries to summon her. And yeah, he basically does.
And he's like, oh, and he backs up and this clock, a small fucking wall clock,
tiny little round clock.
like a clock you could buy for $5 at Walmart.
Yeah.
Right? Falls off and hits him in the head and dude goes down.
Out cold. I was like, and it didn't fall like from a great height either. Like it fell like 6 inches onto his head.
6
and
inches.
Just lights out.
But right before the lights go out, he looks up and he's like, oh, he looks up and he sees a creepy face now behind the shoulder of the guy. And then he's like, oh, passes out. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, they drag him outside and they put him in the back of the car, but he wants to go back in. He's like, I gotta go back in. And they're like, fine, but I'm not going in. Or
yeah,
he didn't even say that. He was like, you don't go in. I'm going in alone.
Yeah, because the car won't start. And he's like, the ghost girl's doing this. She won't let us leave.
It's like,
she disabled the vehicle.
Call a cab. Like, walk. You're right there. There's a gas station.
Yeah, exactly.
So he goes in there. He's like, I'm going to take care of this. So the psychic goes in there and I don't know.
And when he goes in, there was a doll that he had seen earlier in the movie, and the doll has now moved. It's in a different spot.
Motherfucking doll.
There's a bunch of creepy shit in the house, and there's like got like pictures on the walls, and all of them are. It also looked like there was like feces on the walls. Like, why was there like shit smeared everywhere?
I don't know, David.
House needed a deep cleaning.
Well, once he gets back in, he starts to get possessed by the fucking spirit of this girl, I guess. Well, yeah, come to find out, it's the spirit of this woman that was killed. But yeah, and then he starts like flitting around all over the place. Like he'll just like pop up. And he's like, and he's like, I don't. It's like weird. He's weird now, and he's like, got a weird makeup thing on his
Yeah,
face.
and when she appears, she says, "Give me that body of yours." Oh, and she stabs him. Like, she stabs him in the heart, right? And then, like...
Whatever. I don't know. Maybe. Listen, the amount of attention that I was paying to this at this point was very little.
But you're right. She basically possesses him.
The guy and the girl are outside, and they're like, fuck this. We're going back in. Getting that guy. So they start looking for the psychic, and they find him, and then they begin to fight. Now...
Yeah. But before he gets possessed, he's like, leave this place. And he's like, oh, no, I'm evil now.
Yep. They fight, and they fight. And then they fight some more, and then you think the fight's over, and then they fight. The rest of this movie is a fight.
Yes, pretty much.
It's 45 minutes of just fight scenes. And not cool fight scenes, not Bruce Lee fight scenes, not fucking, you know...
Yeah, they're pretty shitty.
Rocky
like,
fight scenes.
it's just wrestling.
Yeah. There is a cool gag that happens right here. Like, they're fighting the guy, right? And like I said, it's all in the same room, and it's all the same shot, just back and forth, like headshot, medium shot, right? But there's a cool scene where the same
the knife
from the beginning of the movie is still there. It's still just as shiny. The main guy stabs it through the monster guy's
from behind
head from behind, and it comes out his eye, and the eyeball is attached to the point of the knife. And then when the
eyeball pops out.
Yeah. When he pulls the knife back out, the eyeball goes back into the guy.
Goes right back in. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, that was probably my favorite sight gag in the movie.
This is where it gets very Evil Dead-y.
Yeah.
Because it's like a guy will get hit and he'll be like, oh, 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 and it's like that cartoon horrifying. Evil Dead 2 more than anything.
Yeah, very like slapstick kind of violence, cartoonish.
They keep fighting and fighting and fighting the monster some more. And then there's another monster eventually, and they fight that monster. But Naoto and the girl, I don't know where they find themselves, somewhere where there's a TV. And the vision of his dad comes up on the TV. Yeah,
and he's like, Dad?
Well, the dad
You're on TV now?
The dad says the ghost is the woman that he killed.
Yeah, he's like, I killed this bitch like in the 70s. Is the whole thing. He's like, what?
It was 30 years ago, Dad.
It's like, what year is it now? It's 2005, right? No, it's 1995. It's like, well, math was never my thing. I was more of a bodybuilder type. It's like, oh, Dad, I've been lifting. It's like, oh yeah, you getting mad gains? That's cool. Let me see. Why don't you pop that shirt off?
Hold on. We'll get there. Jumping ahead, David. But he says, hey, that's the ghost of the woman that I killed. He says all that stuff that David just said. And he tells them that in order to defeat her, and then he's like, she's taking my powers. I'm going away soon. And but anyway, in order to defeat her, they have to chop up the body of that dude. And then he tells Naoto to go into the basement, and that's where he'll find what he needs to beat her.
The weapon that you need to defeat her, is in the basement.
So they go and they hack up the monster. Again, there's more fighting. And then we get lots of blood. Like squirting everywhere.
Yeah.
This is another Evil Dead ripoff. If there was any doubt about this being an Evil Dead ripoff, it is put aside right here, because at one point he gets a shotgun. He says groovy.
Yep.
And then he calls the woman baby.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, he's doing his best Ash impersonation. The monster has been dismembered, but it comes back to life because that didn't kill it. The dad was wrong.
Yeah, like parts of the body are still around and attacking.
And they're
also
like
very Evil Dead.
Each other. Like the hand goes up inside the neck, so the hand's hopping around and the head.
That was kind of cool. It was like if you took like Thing from like the Addams Family and put a head on him. Like it was like that.
Wednesday on Netflix.
Yeah.
Awesome show.
I really liked it too. Yeah, we watched the whole thing.
Yeah, we watched the whole thing too. After you said, "Hey, are you watching Wednesday?" and I was like, "I haven't yet." Then I watched it and we marathoned it.
Do you and your wife go around the house doing the goo goo muck dance?
No, because I see assholes on TikTok doing it all the time, and I'm like, "Fuck these idiots." Sorry, my New Year's resolution.
My resolution, it's destroyed by TikTok. Damn you!
But see, TikTok's different because those people are putting themselves out there just to be judged. And my judging of them is because they want to be judged.
So you found a loophole, I see. That's awesome.
Yep. That's what I do, David. I do like the song Goo Goo Muck, though.
I do too. The Cramps.
That was a song that you recommended that I get on 45. You know, that's impossible to find on 45.
I looked. They're expensive.
Yeah. You can find the original.
Yeah.
The original version of that song. I haven't.
But the Cramps version, I think that exists too, right?
It does exist.
But they're expensive.
It's really expensive. The original one exists for like $8. I could get that.
I've got one of the Cramps. I've got an LP with that one on it. But that doesn't help you.
Can you burn
12
it
inch.
Can you burn it onto a 45 for me?
Sure. Let me get right on that. Press it to a 45 for you. For you, anything.
Just get some candle wax
and just make it.
Dude, records really confuse me.
Me too. How does that work?
How does that work?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Like this needle rides in this little groove and it transmits sound. That's neat.
I don't know about that stuff, David.
I don't know how anything works.
I don't know a lot. As a matter of fact, I don't even tapes, 8 tracks.
Yeah, I don't get any of that stuff.
8 tracks were cool. They weren't cool, like quality wise, but they were cool because if you wanted to listen to a song, you just pressed the number and it would just get you to that song. Like you didn't have to rewind it.
Oh, that's cool. Like I did not know that.
I want song 1. You press track 1, and it was like just get you right to that track.
That's pretty cool. I have a couple 8 tracks, but I have no way of playing them.
You need to get an 8-track player.
Nah. I don't care that much.
Tapes. I don't know how tape works. It's magnetic. I know that.
It's all very science-y.
CDs.
Yeah, I don't get it.
MP3s. Waves.
Yeah, without like the geniuses that have come up with all these things, if people like just you and I like ran the world, like we would just be poking things with sticks. Just be like, do something.
We wouldn't have a podcast.
Make music happen. Yeah.
Where the fuck were we? Oh, the head jumping around. That wasn't that cool, dude.
It was all right.
It was clearly the mannequin head with a fake hand, and they had a string, and they were going like this.
It was kind of fun.
And
like the guy's head. I mean, I don't know where we are in this movie, but like at one point the head is like talking shit to them, and then I can't remember if it's the guy or the girl, just like pushes the head like face down so it can't talk anymore. I thought that was kind of funny.
The head does bite the girl.
Oh yeah,
on the neck.
Like bites her in the neck, right?
Yeah, and she dies, quote unquote, dies. She'll come back to life as a zombie infected Evil Dead girl. But all the blood, like all of a sudden through the floorboards like suck up the blood, and out comes presumably the woman's skeleton. The skeleton face looks a lot like the Evil Dead 2 cover art skull.
Oh yeah, right.
It's got the eyeballs and just the skull. But anyway, it comes up and then it starts like forming like stop motion. Well, now's a good time to talk about that. They use a lot of stop motion.
A lot. It's also very Evil Dead.
Yeah, and they use a lot of. Listen, for the limited budget, I actually didn't mind some of the special effects.
Yeah, agreed.
The practical effects. And even the stop motion. But there's also this effect that they use where they used MS Paint or some shit. And they just took still images. And it was like the Monty Python school of animation where it was like a still image and it was just like a hand moving. And like
Yeah.
It was awful. They would just throw a still image up there behind somebody and
then move it.
Yeah. It was awful. But out through the floorboards comes this fucking thing, and it starts piecing itself together, and this thing is an ugly motherfucker.
It looked like a fucked up like version of Alice Cooper.
You just saw Alice Cooper though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did.
And Alice Cooper looks great.
Weeks ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it looked like a gross version of him.
Yeah, no, a fucked up version of Alice Cooper. But I was just saying, you saw Alice Cooper not that long ago.
Yeah, good show.
And we actually saw Alice Cooper not that long
ago
either. That's right,
in Vegas, right?
Yeah,
he was very nice.
Super nice dude. But yes, this is a fucked up version of Alice Cooper with like a melty face and like an eyeball that's popping out this side, an eyeball that's popping out that side.
And this is where he realizes that, like, because I think he originally thought that the quote unquote weapon he needed from his dad was the shotgun, that he got, but he's like, oh, wait a second. What else is down in the basement? My weights.
Yep. And he realizes that the weapon that he needs are his muscles.
Yeah, and he's like, ugh! He like just like the flex, like rip out of his shirt thing.
He jumps up and he like flexes and his shirt rips off. And then he says, now I'm pumped.
And he says, yeah, he goes up and he says another Evil Dead thing. He says, come get some.
Yeah. Goes back upstairs and guess what? He fights some more. And then he's armed with a barbell with weights on it. And he's like spinning it over his head.
Yeah, ridiculous.
He throws a weight and it hits the girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, who's like possessed now, and she gets knocked out. And then he fights the fucking sludge monster and
the Goo Goo Muck.
The Goo Goo Muck. And he takes the barbell and he like puts it through her mouth and pins her against the wall.
Pins her to the wall, yeah.
David, this movie is 62 minutes long. About 10 of those minutes is that Goo Goo Muck coming off the barbell.
Yeah, that was very long.
Oh
like
my
getting itself off the pole.
God, it took forever.
Yeah, this movie was 62 minutes and it was still too long.
Oh, she slides off the bar and he pulls out a shotgun and then he says, see you in hell, baby.
Baby. Starts blasting.
Blows her head off. And then he sucks out the poison from his
I didn't quite understand how that worked, but she's okay now, so that's good.
He sucks out the poison and he spits it out. And then it does this not Photoshop, MS Paint animation where it goes from like a still image of her possessed to a still image of her not possessed. And then they leave. They get out of the house, and as they're walking out, we're still, as the audience, focused on the house, and then another MS Paint still image through the window of the fucking monster.
So weird. Like they couldn't just get an actor to like just walk past the window or like look out of it.
Why do that when we can get an oversized picture?
Yeah, exactly. Make the face take up the entire window because that won't look ridiculous.
The house is possessed. Maybe it's telling us the house is possessed.
Maybe
that's the end of that movie. This movie was fucking awful.
It was pretty bad.
This movie was fucking awful, and the only redeeming quality was the fact that some of the special effects were actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
I do think.
Yeah, I would agree.
Good job with the practical effects and with the stop motion, because that takes a while. That takes at least 3 of their days to get that stop motion done. But I don't know. I gave it half a Pamela Voorhees head.
Oh wow. Okay. I gave it. You know what's funny? My score kept going down like as it went on because I was like, it's the Evil Dead. Like if I want to watch a movie like this, I'll watch that.
Yeah,
it's the same movie but better.
Yeah.
I just didn't quite understand the point of this movie. But I agree. Some of the visuals were good. I mean, good considering that I'm sure there was no money really that went into it.
No.
But everything else is bad. And you can just go watch The Evil Dead instead. So I give it a 1.
How on earth you gave this a 1, I do not know. But
just for some of the visuals.
That's a half. Some of the visuals. You're insane. So that's a 3/4.
0.75.
Still, listen, 3/4 of a head. That means never see this movie.
It's still not a recommendation.
If you want to torture yourself, you can watch it, like I said, on Shudder. This episode is brought to you by Shudder. No, it's not.
Go watch 12 Monkeys.
Go watch 12 Monkeys, yeah. Came out at the same time. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell.
See you in hell.
Where was the hell?
That's what I don't. The title makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's nonsensical.
Goddamn them.
Goddamn those bastards.
The least they could do is make a title.
I feel cheated. He was never in hell. Where's the hell scene?
If you have any thoughts on this movie, Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, I keep looking over there because it's on the TV. Like I have it on the TV. The ad for it is on my TV. Right
I have forgotten the title of this movie so many times, and the second we stop recording, I'm going to forget it again.
If you have any thoughts on Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, aka Japanese Evil Dead, you can contact us. How can they contact us, David?
Twitter, Facebook, the Slasher app, TikTok, Hive. YouTube, search the Swearwolves on all those platforms. On Instagram, search the Swearwolves podcast. You can go to our website, theswearwolves.com. You can email us at contact@theswearwolves.com. or you can leave us a voicemail at 623-282-1851.
So for the Swearwolves this week, I'm Bret.
I'm David.
I'll see you later, baby.
I'll see you in hell.